children with AT have a number of complex neurological problems which emerge as they get older. When they're very young, they simply have a problem with keeping their posture stable, and sometimes they stagger a little. And this doesn't change much over the first sort of 5 years or so. And then later they become much more clumsy in their walking. They have difficulty sometimes manipulating fine objects. They have trouble with their eye movements and emerging trouble with their speech. So a little bit later after this, then they become less mobile, mainly not because they're not strong, but because they have difficulty coordinating their limbs, and they often need assisted mobility to walk, and finally they need the help of a wheelchair more and more to get around.
And one of the really remarkable things about AT is that it is different from one person to the next. So the kind of eye movement problems, or the kind of extra movements, or the kind of speech or postural problems is very characteristic of AT, but how much they'll have of any one of those dimensions is quite individual.
I think for families and children with AT, the neurological side of AT is the most difficult to handle. But there is an enormous amount of research all around the world focusing primarily on medical therapies and other interventions to help children with motor problems. And whilst there is no tangible therapy at this second, there are certainly many things that can be done to make children with neurological issues much more comfortable and participate as fully as possible in life.
It is also important to note what isn't affected. And unlike so many diseases that deteriorate endlessly and take away everything that is human, that never happens with AT. So a key feature of AT is their intellect is good, their sense of humor is good, their sense of proportion, understanding. They're exceptionally good. Oftentimes it's sort of knowing the way things are working. Even though they can't jump in the middle of things, they kind of understand what's going on. And it's quite inspirational sometimes to see how much they comprehend and how much they can use what little they have in terms of motor abilities and speech and everything to make the world work for them. And it's really quite inspirational.